What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I've got a really cool story time that was sent in to me by a subscriber about the time this dude was like in his CSGO group and scammed one of their friends, so they all banded together to scam the scammer back. I thought it was a cool story time. Can't remember the last time we did something like this, so I thought y'all would enjoy it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Scammer gets scammed! The person who sent this in to me was a really big CSGO player at the time and still is, and as you can tell from the gameplay, I like CSGO too. I think it's a great game. But that being said, the skins can get a little bit pricey. You know, I know Valorant players love to talk about like, oh, a collection is so much money. You don't even want to know if you think those are expensive, what some items in CSGO can be going for. But it's a big part of the game. A lot of people have skins. A lot of people know about the skins, and they can get insanely expensive. And this guy in his group played a lot of CSGO, and they also had like jobs, so they would just play after work together and whatnot. So a lot of people in the group had some pretty valuable skins. I'm not talking about stuff that's, you know, like rare $100,000 blue gem case hardened AKs, but they would have knives that would be worth like $600-700, and because they were all friends, they would kind of trade back and forth. Everybody was always kind of like, if you let me play with your thing, I'll let you play with mine, or like if it was equal value. That way you weren't getting scammed if they held onto your knife, but if you wanted to try something different, you could. So for example, if like Jim had a $300 knife, Tony had a $310 knife, they might trade for a week just to like play with each other's knives, have a different skin, and then trade back. And the group was doing this for a while. They had known each other for a long time, and over time, the more they traded back and forth, they started to trust each other more and more, and so it would be like, okay, yeah, you can borrow something worth like $100 more than your item you're giving me because I trust you and we've been friends for a year. And they were playing together like every day after work, friends for a really long time. And then one day, the biggest collector who had the nicest skins said that one of the other guys was like going to borrow one of his knives that was worth somewhere around $2,000. And yeah, that's a lot for a digital item, but in the CSGO world, that's not even in like the top 1% of most expensive knives. So he was gonna let him borrow it in return for his like $500 knife, and sure, it was a little bit weird, but he trusted them because they had been friends for like a year. So the day comes, they trade the knife, and they play together that entire day. Everyone's acting normal. The guy's like, oh, it's so cool you're letting me borrow this knife, and everything's fine. And then the next day, they wake up, and they see in the middle of the night that that guy had left the Discord server, had unfriended everybody, blocked everybody, and a few of them had like exchanged phone numbers and whatnot, and he had blocked everybody's phone number. And so it becomes very apparent that the guy, like, just scammed his friend. And it was really brutal because, like I said, it was like one of your best friends that you had talked to every day for a year just deciding to like steal from you when you were being a nice guy and letting him borrow something, even after you guys had traded items back and forth forever. And it's not like this guy had nothing. Like, the guy who had scammed him did have $20,000 worth of CSGO skins. It's not like he needed to scam this dude to pay rent or something. He just robbed him. And immediately everybody in the group is insanely pissed off, and they're like, dude, I can't believe he would do that. He really went undercover in our group for like a year to gain our trust just to steal some skins. Who does that? And the guy who got scammed is insanely pissed because, yeah, $2,000 is a lot of money to be scammed out of. But he was more mad with himself because he was like, well, I trusted the guy, so he couldn't go to Steam and say anything because he had sent the trade. So the guy had just really screwed him over. And the group that entire day was just talking about how they wish that they could get his knife back and how they wish there's something they could do. And finally, one of them is like, okay, well, what if we come up with a way to get all the items back? And he's like, well, what do you mean? What if one of us goes undercover to him and says that we're going to scam the rest of the group and we want some advice on how to do it because he just did it successfully? And over time, we'll build up his trust, and eventually he'll send me the items because I'll cash them out and I'll just give everyone their skins back. And everybody is kind of like a little nervous because after somebody does that, it's not like you want to trust somebody with a plan like that, but they eventually agree that, yeah, all right, like, let's do it. Let's get our skins back. Or at the bare minimum, let's mess with him and waste his time. So one of them ends up finding a way to contact him that he hadn't blocked him on and was like, yo, I'm not mad. I think I'm going to scam the group and leave too. I'm going to get a lot of the skins. Can you tell me what to do? And this guy, like an idiot, takes the bait. Like, listen, you should never steal from your friends. I think it's stupid that he would ever steal from them, especially something so expensive. Like, that's just corny. But you especially should not be, like, messaging the people in the group bragging about it and then trying to help them get away with more robberies. Like, what's wrong with you, bro? No shame whatsoever. But they start talking back and forth, and over time, they just kind of start to open up more about the scamming thing, because he thinks this other guy in the group is about to scam the rest of them. And I don't know if it was guilty conscious or what, but he's like, oh, it's nice to know that I wasn't the only person that saw how easy that group would be to, like, take the skins from, haha. Just totally self-reporting about how the entire time he had been their friend, it was basically to earn their trust, because he's giving the guy in the group, who's just feeding all this information to the group, like, yeah, I didn't actually like anyone, I thought everyone was annoying, but I knew that if I got them to trust me, I could get their skins. Just total evil behavior, like Disney villain evil level behavior. Anyways, the time comes and the guy's like, okay, you need to trade me all your skins so I can tell them that I scammed everyone. And everyone's really nervous to do it. Because imagine they were just in cahoots the whole time and now his plan is to get all their skins and dip. And I don't recommend giving anyone your skins. Like, I'll be honest, if someone in your group gets scammed and they come up with a plan like this, I don't know that I would give my skins away. I'm not gonna lie. It's good for the story, like it ends up working out for them, but you never know if this person is just gonna cut and run with all the skins. But they send all of their skins to the undercover guy, and so now he has all these skins, and altogether it's about $35,000 worth of CSGO skins. And even though that's what they're worth, if you were to cash out, you would have to take a little bit of a discount probably, just because like people don't pay real money for skins incredibly often. It does happen, like it is a big economy, but selling $35,000 worth of skins for cash right away as fast as possible would net you a little bit less than that. But he takes screenshots of all these skins and he sends it to the original scammer and is like, okay man, look, I got all these skins, isn't this sick? Look at how much I scammed them for. And the guy is hyped, like he is stoked that this guy has managed to rob all of his friends that he had been hanging out with every day for the last year, just pretending to be their friend. I know I've said that a lot, but I just can't believe it, dude. He really said, I'm going deep undercover for some video game skins. And he's hyping him up. He's like, yo, that's the biggest scam I've ever seen. Congratulations, man. I've never had one that big, which implies that he has just been going from group to group scamming people. Like, this is what the guy did. So they weren't too thrilled to hear that. But whatever, he's like, what are you going to do with all the skins now that you got them? Are you just going to hold on to them and let them go up in value? Because at the time, the skin industry, skin economy, I don't know what you would call it. Like, skins were going up in value. They kind of fluctuate. But whatever, he's like, are you just going to hang on to them? And he said, no, I think I'm going to cash out. And cashing out, I don't know too much about it, but from the way this guy explains it, it's like if people scam skins and cash out, there's certain places where someone can like report it and whatnot, and it can cause issues, so not everyone cashes out. I don't know if that's how it works. I'm not claiming to be the expert here, but apparently like it was kind of a pain to cash out, especially this large of an amount. And the guy who originally scammed the dude for the $2,000 knife is like, oh, I want to cash out too, but I know people are watching the inventory and I don't want them to know where I cashed out at. And he says, well, dude, since we both scammed the same group, how about we make a deal? I'll cash out your skins for you and send you the money. And you would think, considering this guy is a scam artist who stole a $2,000 knife, that he would realize that if he sends this guy the skins, he's never going to get them back. I mean, he thinks this guy just stole $35,000 worth of skins from people he pretended to be friends with for a year. Why he would trust them is beyond me, but whatever. The guy is an absolute moron, and he's like, oh, that'd be so sick. Thank you. I've been wanting to cash out, but I haven't had the time to do it. And he promises him that he'll cash him out and he only wants like a 5% fee for doing all the work. And he's like, deal, no problem. And before the end of that day, that guy sends not only the $2,000 knife he had scammed, but starts sending over like all of these skins that he wants to sell. And it ends up being like another $5,000 worth of skins. So $7,000 to him to cash out. And so he sends the skins over, he gets them to his inventory. And like for the first 3 days, he pretends that he's trying to sell them. And he's like, oh man, no one's buying, no one's buying, no one's buying. And he's like, oh, it's okay, someone will buy it eventually. And finally, on the third night, he just unadds the original scammer, blocks him on everything, and trades everybody back all of their items. And so they get all of their items. They're like, yo, this is sick. And he even takes all the extra skins that the guy had sent him and distributes it amongst the group, you know, is like, all right, everybody gets a little bit because he sent even more. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, it was mean, but listen, you know what else is mean? Pretending to be someone's friend for a year to steal their CSGO skins. And he didn't tell him to send more. It wasn't like he was like, send your entire inventory. He just chose to send that all extra. So whatever, they distribute all the skins and whatnot. And then what's really nuts is you think the guy would realize he got scammed and go, oh, that's crazy. I'm going to leave them alone. They're not a group to mess with. They got me to send over all of my skins. Like, let's just be even. But no, he unblocks the ones whose phone number he has and he starts sending them like threatening text messages. And he was threatening them being like, I'm going to show up at your house unless you give me the skins back. Like, I'm serious. I will pull up to your house unless you give me my skins back. And I don't think he expected the response he got. The person that he decided to threaten the most lived in the same town as him, which is why I think he was like, oh, if I threaten to show up at his house, he'll give me it back. But instead, the guy, who happened to also be the guy he took the $2,000 knife from, said, okay, pull up. I mean, you had literally robbed this dude, man. What did you expect him to say? Like, he said, pull up, man. All right, you really want to fight me? You want to beat me up to get your skins back? Go for it. After you stole my $2,000 knife, please pull up to my house, which I don't recommend doing. But at the same time, it's funny how miraculously, as soon as he says, okay, show up and we'll fight, the tone shifts dramatically. And he's like, oh, I will show up to your house. I really will. Trust me, I'll do it. But if you give me the skins back right now, I'll give you this one-time, very limited, special offer, super limited. I won't fight you if you give me all the skins back, plus the knife I stole from you. Which I could get the argument for, like, give me back the stuff that I gave you guys extra. I could understand that. I really don't know where he's coming from by also demanding that they give him back the stuff he stole from them. Like, hey guys, listen, it's getting a little bit out of control. How about you give me all the stolen merchandise back and I go freely on my way with absolutely no consequences. Deal? Deal. I think that deal works out a little bit too good for you and not good for everybody else. So he says, no, I want to fight you. This is not going to be settled like this. And the guy who originally scammed the person from the group starts being like, I don't know what your issue is. Why do you have beef with me? And the guy he stole from can't believe what he's hearing. Like, what do you mean you don't know why I have beef with you? You literally stole something from me. Like, 100% confirmed. We know you stole it. Did you expect me to be cool with it? Like, thank you for robbing me? Aw, dude. Aw, seriously, thank you so much. Oh, I love not having my expensive items so much better than having it. Aw, seriously, dude, you really freed me from that prison of owning expensive stuff. What did you expect the reaction to be? And he's like, whatever, go ahead and be dramatic and immature. Yes, he's immature for being mad at you from stealing from him. Stealing from him a very expensive item. I think the more immature thing is like destroying your friendships and robbing your friends for a CSGO knife. I understand that he was probably just pretending to be their friend the entire time, but you know what's really immature? Spending an entire year pretending to be someone's friend just so you can steal their CSGO knife. Like, think about how much dedication that is for such little reward. I understand CSGO items are very cool, but really think about it. A year of your life for like one item. Okay, whatever trade-off you want, go for it. But then he says the coup d'etat of the dumbest thing of all time. He says that he thought they were gonna let him get away with it because they would have understood that he had just outsmarted them. What? You thought that they were gonna hear that you robbed them and then be like, he really outsmarted us, we're just cool with it now. I don't think that's anyone's attitude. I don't think like a museum with a super intense security system, if you broke in and steal all the paintings from the museum, they're gonna be pissed. I don't think they're gonna be like, wow, the dedication those guys had to stealing paintings was next level. I'll just let them get away with it. Obviously, this guy was gonna go through any means to get his stuff back. I think anyone would. Like, if you have the chance to get your stuff back from someone that stole from you, you're gonna take it. I think literally anyone in his position would have. But whatever, at that point, the guy who he had stolen from blocked him, just decided that would be the end of it, and they all blocked him. But to this day, every now and then, he'll like make a new account and hit some of them up trying to be like, you guys still owe me my skins, and every time they all just kind of mess with him. Like, let it go, dude. After try 3 of trying to get it back, you should realize it's never coming back. Overall, though, I would not recommend stealing people's CSGO skins or stealing their items in general, whether they be virtual or real. I just feel like stealing's not very swagged out. That being said, though, it was a pretty entertaining story time, and if you guys enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate y'all taking a second to press the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below, and of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. I've been posting daily again, so you don't want to miss out. If you like the story times, but you don't have time to watch the gameplay, you want to listen offline, whatever floats your boat, I post them on Spotify, link down below. And there's also going to be a link to the new playlist I made here on YouTube that has my favorite story times of the year, so check that out as well. And yeah, on that note, guys, I think that'll do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. I'm out. Peace.